would you die for the Lich?
Zombie?
Brains.
Brains? Like, you're supposed to sound like a zombie, like a scary zombie. Like, you sound kind of normal.
It's 2025, man. We don't sound like that. We're not walking stereotypes.
But you are a zombie.
We're walking dead.
But are you gonna eat me still?
Yeah. I mean, brains is kind of my main objective here.
Okay.
Well, I did, and I'll do it again. What would compel me, a presumably sane human being, to partake in an endless cycle of death and resurrection? And why do I think you would do it too? Well, it all comes back to the age-old vice, the good old dice roll. Well, it looks like you died.
Oh no. Again? I guess you're right. Oh, fuck. I was supposed to retire tomorrow.
The Die for the Lich demo, currently only available on Newgrounds.com, created by Madnukin and Miracle, is a roguelike involving dice. You roll for attack, and you roll for defense. Every round is randomized. If you don't leverage your odds, you won't make it to the end. That's the whole experience. I've never been good at poker, but this game makes me feel like I could be good at poker. Or maybe explain why I'm not good at poker. I will now take you through one round of Die for the Lich. I always like to jump right into that first round without planning out my route. I got that ADHD. The way you attack is your weapon has the number 6 there, or whatever attack range, and that is your critical hit. So you get a 6, you get the critical effect of that weapon. If you get below a 6, that you can still play, and that's going to be the damage you do. But if you hit the 6, that's the ideal point because it has some bonuses. Each weapon has its own bonus. If you hit a critical on a 6 with a shovel, you will be able to roll a 4-sided die on top of your attack, so you could get up to 10 damage. And if you get a critical on the wooden shield, you automatically get an additional 2 extra protection points. Now, if you see the scratch marks above this like feline of some sort, you'll see that it says 2, so that's how much damage it is it's scratching me for. If I have a shield counter at 2 or above, this creature cannot damage me. If I've somehow managed to protect myself for only 1 point, then I will only take 1 point of damage and it will block the other point. That's what you need to know. So the first enemy you encounter is usually the easiest. After defeating them, they give you a little bit of treasure. In this case, we're gonna get the choice between a spear type weapon and a coin. The loot is randomized, but there is like a specific amount of like how good it can be, and this is a particularly good weapon, so I decided to choose that. I put that in my empty slot, but you can put it in any slot if you want to replace an item or whatever. So here I am counting out my route. So with that particular one, I had the choice between 2 trinkets. That lock right there activates the critical hit mechanic, even if you don't hit the right number, as long as it's not going above the fail state number. So if you get over to, let's say, 10, you're gonna you lose all those dice and you don't get to do any damage. This enemy has an effect that when you do damage to it, it lets you draw another dice from your little pouches at the bottom right there. Oh, this is good. We got the dagger that when you attack makes the enemy's attack half as strong. So I've chosen that. This ember dice can be rolled after a critical hit, so you can add that number to your total critical count, making like the den. Let's say if I hit a 6, I can roll a d4, but I can also roll this d12, so then I can do even more damage. So here I am, dueling it out against these 2 cats, these creatures of the night. Time to activate that lock, so now it's in critical mode. I can roll that d12 and my d4 And if I wanted to, I could use that 4-leaf clover, that three-leaf clover to add an additional 3 points of damage, but I wanted to save that in case I need to shield myself because I can't kill him right away. This is a demo, not a finished game, which is nice. This is why I'm really trying to promote it, so you guys get, you know, some more eyes on it before it's even out. I will link the Steam, I will link the Discord, I'll link their website, all that stuff's in the description. I highly recommend you go check it out. Now what we see here is a zombie. This is a fun enemy because he hits hard, but he hits infrequently. But with that zombie, he gets up to higher hitting numbers pretty quick, but every turn after swinging, he gets confused, and when you're in the confused state, you don't attack for your turn. You don't get to hit your turn. So usually paired up with a second enemy, and always not really that big of a deal because the weaker enemy, you wipe him out. You just go after him because he's only attacked once. As long as you got a shield, you're kind of set. You don't have to worry too much. Here I am being like, oh no, I can't defend myself, but then I use that, which makes the critical effect of adding 2 protection points. So I lucked out, but oftentimes when I play this game, I find myself just forgetting essential elements of this game that would stop me from losing. It's kind of like poker or something where you can keep your odds up and you can win more than you lose with these little tricks and whatnot. What I find often with this game is that you make choices that long term you don't truly see the ramifications of, especially when it comes to picking weapons or your route. Committing to the wrong path can just doom you from the very beginning of the game, and you not realize just how bad it's gotten until you've lost. So I've leveled up, I've killed enough enemies to get my XP bar to go all the way. And what I've chosen was for every 4 points of a damage that I hit on an enemy, I receive 1 protection point. So now I can attack and defend myself a little bit. And here I am choosing between the crystal ball and the thread. The thread lets me attack twice, but with the second time I attack is going to be half as effective. The crystal ball, it lets me see the future of 1 die, so I get to know what the outcome is, or it's 3. And I just chose the club. So the club is a very good weapon in my opinion, because the critical effect of the club, not only is it 11 to crit, so you can kind of throw really big dice at it. Once you crit, you get the stun effect or confusion effect or whatever it's called, and you hit an enemy and they don't play for their turn. So you can kind of stun lock a single enemy into being unable to attack you. So it's very useful. So what we're fighting here are 2 of the hyena cat creatures and 1, it's a vampire effectively. Look at him, it looks like Dracula or Nosferatu or whatever the hell. Strigoi, yeah, okay. Well, like I've never heard of a Strigoi, but I have heard of Dracula, and maybe this is copyright free Dracula. I don't know. But he looks like a demon. If he does damage to you, which he's gonna do in a second, he heals. He heals 2 points or whatever the damage that he can get past your defensive points. Yeah, so this crystal ball will show me the future of 3 dice that I roll. Watch it. Watch this. Oh, so I got a 4, a 2, and a 2, so that'll roll a 4, a 2. So now I can just basically do math. Basic addition, and boom, I got him. And if you see what I've done here accidentally is I made it so that I am definitely taking damage, but I am trying to recover by lowering the damage by 2, which might have been a good play, just to avoid taking extra. No! See, I accidentally messed up there because I didn't attach that 1 to that knife throw, and so I didn't kill him, and then I prolonged this another additional round. We've been fighting these guys for 7 rounds now. So now we move on to this place. This is the shop. So if you collect coins over your journey, you get to go to the shop, and the shop has lots of items. So this is why you might choose a coin over a larger die. But obviously once you spend it, you've spent them, but you can use it to buy like nice trinkets here. And what am I gonna choose? I'm really eyeing that spike shield. Looks like I'm committing, and I did commit, so I wanted to be extra protected up before I get to that final boss battle. Oh, so that creature on the left there, it functions by placing curses, and then also, you know, attacking physically, but doing curses that lower the threshold for critical hits by half, and it's like annoying. I don't know why it throws off the game so much, because you'd think it'd be easier to hit a critical for a 6 on that, and sometimes it's really useful. Like with the club, it might actually be better to have it be a 6 to crit than a 11, but for some reason, I don't know, I try and get it and it just seems to not work out quite as much. But using that critical charm there means that I can do a double hit with the die and then instantly have my numbers up without having to use as many dice. Now the leather die is really cool because when you use it, it basically, well, it just draws another die from your bag. So it's like you get 2 die for the price of 1. It's a neat little thing. So this is what Anuku, whatever the heck his name is, and you gotta kill his black stags. They give you 1 turn without him attacking, so it's not too difficult. And you just get the fuck up one of these things. Get out of here, you dumb deer. They're not too powerful, but if you let them sit there, if you don't wipe them out ASAP, they are going to be a problem. You see what I'm doing there is I am lowering their attack so that I can heal for less. And what I realized was when I do damage, I would actually heal myself. I would not heal, but I would put a armor on for enough points because of that previous upgrade. So it is useful to kill more enemies to pick a path of higher resistance so that you have some of these perks. Makes the fight easier. Oh, and he's gone. So now what I'm doing is lowering that amount of damage so that I don't have to get completely destroyed, and that turned out to be perfect. The gambling of this game is fun because you know you could just accidentally roll all 1s the whole game and just ruin a really good start. You can kind of test your skills there. And then we see that was a good application of that after critical hit die roll, where I managed to get that club to be a 20. And here I am, I beat him. So these are all those little achievements you can get in the meantime while you're waiting, and it's fun. It's fun to try and get the stuff. I've maxed them all out, but on like a different browser. I used to play all these games in Firefox browser, but then it broke, and now I have to use Microsoft Edge. That's right, I used Microsoft Edge. So that's a whole playthrough of 1 round. Shout out to Koi Key for being the one who put me on playing this awesome game. And I actually was like skeptical at first, but I got really into it. And Koi Key has done the thumbnails for this video and the previous Straftat video as well. So if you like those thumbnails, check out his channel in the description. He's a god of art making, and I have nothing but respect for the guy. He does animations, Newgrounds animator. That's extra swag. Go check him out. And also, patreon.com/Saplow. Anybody? You want me to make more videos? Patreon.com/Saplow. We can finally get that money up, and the videos will only get better. I promise. I'm committing to this weekly schedule, but in order for good videos to happen more often, I need finances, man. I need to get those in order. So, there you go. Now I have one question left for you. Would you die for the Lich?